Let's talk about why listings expire and what causes them to expire and how to prevent it from happening on your listing. So, as usual, we're going to hang out for a minute and kind of let everyone come in. Don't be afraid to bring all your questions, comments, concerns, anything else you got, put them in the comments. And let's just have a good time. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, reach out. Or again, ask questions here. It's part of why we do this live. If it was just informational, we would just be doing a video. But the idea here with doing lives every single week, every single Sunday at 6, is to make sure that people have an opportunity to ask questions and be curious without making the full-on commitment of making a call or anything crazy like that. So when we're selling homes, we've got a couple major things that make all the difference. Now, the first thing, obviously, price, because we all know if you took your home and you listed it for $1, it would sell tomorrow, right? So, a very significant portion of why homes don't sell is always going to be price, and we're not going to cover that too much because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You want it sold, you can always lower the price. But what we want to kind of go over is stuff other than price and how do we, if our price is firm and that's the main reason we're not selling, how do we encourage people to offer the price that we want so that the listing doesn't expire? So when we're talking about expired listings, typically they're going to sit on the market for a long time. And there's some listings in my market right now that have been on the market for over 200 days. So, if we were to look at these from a just marketing and just analytical standpoint and figure out what could we do to bring these listings a buyer and how can we approach them in a more critical way to try and make something happen, because 200 days later, nothing's happening, right? Something's broken, something's dead. Every single person that looks at this listing is going to say, what's wrong with it, right? So our goal is to avoid all of that and solve all of the problems involved. So we're going to kind of go in order from things that can help the most to the things that can help the least. So fortunately for anyone that's jumping in early, you're going to catch the big things right away. So to do this properly, I think that we need to kind of show some examples of listings that expired and go over why. So let's see here. If I share my screen, we want to share. Where'd we go? The tab's not showing up. What a bummer. This one right here. Residential. I think this is the right one. There we go. Wonderful. So we'll take a look at this listing over here on Birch Street. So this is a listing that did expire. They were on the market for a good long while. It expired a while ago. So what the heck happened? Well, when we're looking at listings, the number one thing that people care about are pictures, okay? When it comes to pictures, let me just double check I got my screen working properly here. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to pictures, there's a couple rules. If people don't like the first picture, they're not going to look at the second or third picture, okay? The first picture needs to be good. If the second and the third picture keep their attention, they will usually go through all the rest of the pictures. So we want to make sure, first and foremost, that our first front picture, it always has to be the front of the house, but we want to make sure that it is as good a picture as we can, because if they don't like the first one, they're not going to look at the rest. And for most listings, they're going to really be clicking through. It's like a dating app, right? Tinder or whatever. They're swiping quickly. They're judging whether they want to see the house quickly based on the picture. So the first picture needs to be really, really good. So in this case, it looks like a cell phone picture or something similar. Not sure. Maybe they brought their own fancy camera. But either way, the angle's wrong. Everything else is wrong. And so using that same logic, if we go over to the second picture, the second and third picture should be highlights of the home, right? And we click through, it's the same picture. It's the same picture. Now, think about this as a buyer or seller. As we go through, how many pictures do we need to see before we see the inside of the home, right? When do we start getting excited? Don't get me wrong, the yard looks pretty cool, right? We get to this pool and stuff. Maybe this should have been the second picture or maybe the third picture. But normally we want to see kind of front of the house, kitchen, maybe a cool bathroom, maybe the yard, right? Instead, we're going all the way through to get to here where we finally get to the bedroom. And how many pictures to get to like the kitchen or some kind of highlight? I mean, I guess the bathroom's kind of highlight. Again, personal pictures, right? Patio space, which is fine. There we go. We got the living room finally. What picture number is that? Number 24. We have to go in 24 pictures before we start seeing what people really want to see on the home, right? So if we want to encourage more showings and more action on this listing, oh, is that? Oh, I wonder if that wasn't showing. Was it showing the pictures? I don't know now. Let's see. We're clicking through the wrong page. That's my fault. So as we click through these here, as you can see, we're clicking through a lot of pages to get to finally see the listing. We're well past page 3. Again, sorry for that. I was clicking on the wrong tab. So as we click through, the yard finally looks cool here on picture 9. When we get all the way through here, I mean, most buyers aren't going to click through all this to take a look at what the inside of the home looks like, right? You've lost most of your buyers. Pictures aren't professionally done. They're not super well organized. And so overall, this is a pretty big problem because people looking through your home aren't going to want to look at it if they have to go this far just to see, reasonably what the house looks like. So number 1, good pro pictures. Number 2, if you're having a hard time selling the home, you need to get some more reach out here, right? So we're not just talking pictures. We want to get some 3D and some floor plan. 3D and floor plan can bring up offers a tremendous amount. And there's a lot of agents that don't use it, don't take advantage of it. But if we can take a look at the 3D of the home, we can actually get a good idea as to the layout and overall how the home looks without ever having to go there. So when you use 3D and floor plans, sure, you are discouraging showings, which some people think is a bad thing. But if we are doing 3D and floor plans, we're going to encourage people that aren't able to see the home to write offers. So those far off offers or people from out of state or what have you, those are huge, okay? So having really, really good and best practice photos, 3D, and floor plans are going to be a huge add in selling the home. Next thing, showings. When we are doing showings on homes, we want to make it as easy as possible. We want people to have an easy in, easy out. What we don't want is for people to want to see the home and then not be able to see it because there's something going on, right? Maybe it's just not available for showings today and that's the only day they're in town. So making showings difficult is going to reduce your number of showings. In this case, you need to make a 2-hour at least notice to set an appointment. A lot of time to do that, which is reasonable if someone's living there, can be really challenging if people aren't answering the phone. I'm not saying it's the case in this listing, but on some listings, you can send a text message to the other realtor like, hey, can we look 6 o'clock now? Can we look at 8 o'clock? And the other realtor doesn't answer because they're not working today. So the easier you can make the showings and more accessible you can make the home, the, again, more showings you're going to have and more offers you're going to have. So make showings easy if there's any way to do so. Next big thing is going to be your marketing reach. So if we are having a hard time selling a home, we're not usually going to worry too much about blasting out marketing in the first week. I usually do, but I'm weird. But at some point, we need to keep the momentum going. Because what you'll notice with showings and with just general attention online is it starts out really, really high, and the longer it's on the market, the less views you get, right? So if we take a look at another listing here, let's see. Let's share this one. Share. This has been on for 251 days with 944 views. Now, we kind of have the same. Let me just double check. It's still working. Yes, still working. We kind of have the same issue in that we don't have good first three pictures. I mean, picture of a chair in the corner is fine, but that's not going to make someone say, "Oh my gosh, I really want to see the home." So usually by here they're going to click off. Um, but what we're going to really draw attention to is that they got 900 views in 251 days. Only 900 views and 13 saves. So that number of views is really, really low. And if we're noticing that we're getting really low views, we should be doing online ads. Okay. So, what do I mean by online ads? We should be doing Facebook ads, YouTube ads. I mean, whatever social media we want to get on, we want to get on those platforms and be running ads and trying to market your home. Realistically, it takes very little effort to get 900 views on most social media platforms. So the idea here is that if our traffic's slowing down and we're not getting very many views, let's spend some money. Let's pump out some marketing. Let's start doing some like price adjusting, right? Let's do whatever we have to do to get more views. Because again, 1,000's really, really low. I believe I want to say usually every 1,000 views you should get an offer, but typically you should get 1,000 views like the first weekend, really. So if you don't have the traction, you don't have the momentum going, stop for a second and run some ads, get it out there, make some videos, whatever it takes to make sure people know your listing exists. If you only have 900 views, people don't know your listing exists, right? The last and final thing that you should and could really, really do to boost your listing is take a little bit of time and reach out to all the other agents that are looking at the home and get feedback. Okay. So, anyone that's gone through the home, whether it's through a broker tour, through a showing, through anything else, when people are going through, they're motivated, they're interested. Take a minute to ask them, like, hey, what'd you think? Was there any weird smells? Why aren't you offering on the home? It's too small. The price is wrong. It smells weird. Whatever it is, collect all that feedback. And then if you don't sell after maybe 3 months in this market, 3 months is a really long time. Maybe it's time to take it off the market and take a minute to fix up whatever isn't working for you before you put it back on the market. I wouldn't keep throwing stuff at it and hoping that it's going to work, especially in this market right now where our median price has come down just about every month. So as prices are coming down, you want to think about how, like, if it's been up for a month and it's not working, what are we doing that's going to work now? Because prices are falling. And sometimes you can get lucky and get an offer in that just, saves the day, and that didn't happen in that first month. But as time goes on, your odds of getting a strong offer are going to go down pretty reliably, okay? So we want to get feedback from everyone that comes in, and we want to try to fix things and make things showing ready as quickly as we can. So just to reinforce here, if you have a listing that you're having a hard time with, fix the price. Even small price adjustments will push you to the front of people's whatever. If it's in their email, it'll give them an email alert. If they're on Zillow, Realtor, whatever, it'll show it as a new price adjustment. So even if it's $1 price reduction, it's going to encourage good things to happen. Also, when we're talking about price, because we kind of glazed over it before, what you will also notice is that we have some really weird habits from agents out here. They have a habit of using like 9,999 or just 9,000 in general. No one searches like they used to, right? People aren't searching for homes based on a book. They're doing it using online, using a search bar. So when we're using a search bar to look for homes, we want to use round numbers. We want to be looking at 250,000, 200,000, a million, right? So most people that are searching for a home are going to look for, say, I'm helping someone right now that's looking for 1.1 to 1.2. If you do a listing at 1,199,999, right? The issue is that anyone that's looking from 1.2 to 1.3 is going to miss your listing. You're going to miss half of your audience. So make sure that when you are listing it and doing the price, that you're using a round number that people are searching, or you're within a search range that you think is going to work. So, for example, if you have your home listed at $750,000, you're going to get all of the people looking up to 750. You're going to get all the people between 700 and 800. You're going to get all kinds of people looking at you. But if you list your home at 6999999, you're going to miss all of the people looking from 700 to 800, even though technically you're probably one of the homes that they want to see. So overall, those are my top tips for getting a home sold that's having a hard time. And if you have any questions or need any help, or if you have a stubborn listing that you just can't sell, even if you're a realtor, give me a call. Let's go over a marketing plan and let's help you get your listing sold. If you have any questions, guys, you know what to do. Call Castro, Brian the Beekeeping Realtor. I don't know how we're going to do the slogan thing here. If you have a good idea, let me know. I think we're working on a rebrand. I keep saying call Castro, but I'm Brian the Beekeeping Realtor now. And we'll catch you guys next week.